This video is sponsored by Opera GX, the internet browser for gaming. Your average internet browser can be a real nuisance, eating up a ton of resources and slowing down your entire computer. That's why Opera GX has customizable limits controlling CPU and RAM, so you can save those precious resources for gaming. There's also a network limiter to control bandwidth, keeping it nice and available for online gaming. Opera GX has some really cool themes with light and dark modes right from the start, which are all inspired by neon lights and how they break through the darkness of the night. This is by far the most visually appealing internet browser I've ever used, and considering how long you stare at these things throughout the day, I'd say it's pretty important for them to look nice. There's also the GX Corner, which is an extremely convenient hub that keeps you completely in the loop when it comes to all things gaming. It's got a release calendar, a list of free games, popular games you may want to check out from different genres, and also the latest news on gaming. Oh, and Opera GX is also available on mobile, meaning you can go back and forth between mobile and desktop. And yes, it looks just as cool as the desktop version. Use the link in my description to download Opera GX for desktop and mobile for free, to take full control over your internet browser and accommodate for your gaming needs. Huge thank you to Opera GX for sponsoring this video, and with all that being said, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to chaomix. I've been using YouTube ever since I was a kid, and this was in 2006, way before YouTube was used as a tool to get your screaming child to put a cork in it so you can go back to doing normal things, like playing Sonic 2 on the Sega Genesis. That's what normal people do, right? Because back then, the landscape of content was vastly different. The YouTube algorithm was barely even a thing, and you mostly had very grassroots creators making obscure content probably only intended for their close friends to see. The amount of cringy unlisted videos I have on this channel is kind of scary. Jingle bell, jingle bell. Big budget productions like we have all over YouTube today just weren't very common. Most of us made videos using Windows Movie Maker with that one song, you know the one. But now, YouTube has become this platform that robotically shoves certain content down your throat in an almost predatory way. This content is specifically tailored to appeal to this dystopian algorithm for maximum viewership efficiency to enslave viewers inside of their website for all of eternity. And there's no other target audience more susceptible to this than children. You know, those little iPad babies at the mall you see glued to their parents' devices. Making children's content on YouTube is kind of OP. They get an incredible amount of views because they're extremely rewatchable, and children are just on YouTube all the time. Like, what the heck else are they gonna be doing? Taxes? And the great thing is, children just kinda don't give a shit about the quality of the thing they're watching, so you can get away with making the lowest quality production and still get millions of views. Like I mentioned, YouTube is often used as a way to zombify your child so you don't have to deal with them. Shit's literally crack to them. The pure amount of mindless content with bright and flashy colors hits their little baby brains just right and hooks them instantly. It's honestly a bit scary. So how does this all relate to Sonic? Well, I make Sonic content here on YouTube, it's my little niche. So if you like that sort of thing, you should totally subscribe, just saying. But it's exactly because of this that I've noticed the YouTube algorithm recommending me a certain type of disturbing content that's amassing millions of views. It's very obviously geared towards younger children, but it's definitely not something they should be watching. This is a deep dive of the disturbing subgenre of Sonic Kids content on YouTube. It's no secret I watch a ton of Sonic content on YouTube. Just cause I make it myself don't mean I don't watch it. Mod videos, trailers for the games, reviews, video essays, and obviously I make Sonic content here on this channel. So it's only natural that YouTube would try to recommend me other content also relating to the Blue Rat, which is usually a great thing. I've found a ton of awesome content creators and amazing videos this way. But on the other side of the coin, it occasionally surfaces some really weird stuff. But none weirder than a disturbing subgenre of Sonic content making its way around like a plague. A treasure trove of disturbing, fetishy, low-quality Sonic content created for quote-unquote kids that seems to be amassing millions upon millions of views. Now, am I just jealous of the insane amount of views that these videos are reeling in? Oh, absolutely. But also a bit concerned. You see, this type of content with suggestive and almost subliminally fetishistic subjects is being viewed by a bunch of young and impressionable children. I went down the rabbit hole to try to get a grip on what the heck is even going on here, and here's what I found. There are many prominent channels that I could find making these types of videos, along with some pretty obscure ones too, but I'm sure there's a ton more that I haven't even discovered. Now, before we even get into any of this, all I want to say is please do not go and harass anyone shown in this video. For one, it's just rude and unnecessary. And second, all you're doing is giving them more engagement, which is pushing their videos out more, exposing them to more susceptible children. Despite being created on all these different channels, these videos all have a lot of things in common. First, simply by looking at them, you can tell that they're all very low quality. Characters are made using really simple, crudely drawn animation rigs with extremely bare-bones animations. The mishmash of assets used throughout the video just clash in style with one another and completely vary in quality. Everything on screen just screams royalty-free, from the props, the background scenery, the sound effects, and the music. Actual dialogue is nowhere to be found. Characters use a bunch of stock sound effects for grunting, laughing, screaming. There's just a lot of random noises and sound effects used all throughout the video, and at least for someone like me, it's kind of exhausting. But I'm sure for all the kids watching these videos, it's firing every neuron in their brain at the same time.
No!
These channels also just copy-paste the same video within their other videos, and some of these channels just straight up copy off of each other. It's all just very lazy. At a first glance, these videos seem relatively harmless. They're kinda just low quality, nothing morally wrong with that. I mean, they're 100% pure brain rot for children, but let's be real, a lot of the stuff that we used to watch was probably just as bad. Probably not this bad, but still pretty bad. But it's once you start digging a bit deeper that you start noticing some disturbing patterns in these videos. Just quickly scrolling through a lot of these, probably the biggest recurring theme I see is tragedy due to some character dying. Like, looking at all these thumbnails, I see so many characters in hospital beds either dying or straight up dead. Characters on life support, characters completely mangled, ghosts of dead characters, you've got dead Sonic, dead Amy, and even a dead little baby Sonic. Like, this is kind of morbid. But that's not even the beginning of it. Infidelity, domestic abuse, kidnapping, whatever the this is. It seems that these videos completely bank on showcasing utter tragedy. Tragedy that's a bit too real for the target audience of these videos to be exposed to on YouTube. But don't worry guys, it says right here in the video title, very sad story but happy ending, so it's fine. We can euthanize baby Sonic, just make sure the ending is happy and it's all good, yeah? You're allowed to do that, right? And these morbid topics are all shown in each video pretty graphically sometimes. Well, as graphically as their animation budget allows. Overall, I get this really weird feeling when looking at all these videos that I can't seem to shake. It's kind of hard to explain, but the formulaic way that these videos just show dead Sonic characters half buried in the ground, on their deathbeds near the brink of death, or characters going through intense trauma due to some of the other adult themes we previously mentioned, it's almost as if they're fetishizing these tragic scenarios. And I don't mean to be a complete buzzkill or whatever, but man, you gotta think how this is probably gonna leave some kind of impression on the kids watching these videos. I'm not claiming to be an expert in psychology or anything, but what I do know is that the people watching these videos are probably young enough where their minds are very malleable. It's very easy to plant ideas in their minds that can lead to deviant behavior later on in life, or at the very least, traumatize or even desensitize them to this type of heavy stuff. These videos are all more or less the same, but they still continue to surprise me the more I look into them. So let's look at a few of my favorites to see what exactly millions upon millions of children are watching. This first one is called R.I.P. Sonic Life, Sonic Come Back Heaven, the animation of Sonic games, Poor Sonic Life. Great title. This video has 128,000 views and was created by a channel called Slime Speedy, who has over 300,000 subscribers. We start off with Sonic neglecting his child, who then gets hit by a f***ing car and dies. So Sonic builds an entire robot version of his now deceased child to fill the void. And everything seems hunky-dory once again until Sonic and Amy's kitchen catches on fire, setting their house ablaze. Metal baby rose gold Sonic runs into the house to save Amy, but then his skin melts off. But it's fine, because he's a robot. So he saves Amy, but it's at this point where we realize that Amy actually didn't even know that her child was replaced by a robot, and that Sonic had kept the death of their child a complete secret. But it's fine, I guess, because Amy immediately gets over it and embraces her new robot child. Amazing video, this one gets a 7 out of 10 from me. This next video is called Sorry Amy, Please Wake Up, Very Sad Story, Crying Emoji, Animation, Poor Sonic Life. This one only has 4.7 thousand views and it's from a channel called mToons with roughly 60,000 subscribers. This one starts off with Sonic proposing to Amy. Aw, how cute. But oops, Sonic is a total klutz and drops the ring, which rolls off into the street. No biggie though, Sonic walks over to pick it up, but whoopsie, he forgot to look both ways and completely misses the oncoming car. Amy jumps in the way, saving Sonic, but getting hit by the car herself in the process. We then see Amy's mangled corpse before she's brought to the hospital. Turns out she's still alive, but forgets who Sonic is since she suffered from brain damage due to the impact. This leads to Sonic and Amy splitting up, and Sonic becoming an alcoholic. Jesus, dude. Oh is that SpongeBob? So I guess SpongeBob stole Sonic's girl, and right when he's about to propose to her, she regains all of her memories of Sonic. So she tries to find him, but on her way to doing so, she also forgets to look both ways and walks right into the path of another oncoming car. This time, Sonic jumps in the way at the last second, gets hit by the car himself, and just straight up dies. And that's the end of the video. Wow, not even a happy ending. 3 out of 10. Alright, the final video we'll be looking at is called No Way, Amy, Please Wake Up. Very sad story, but happy ending, Sonic Animation. This one is created by one of the largest channels I could find making these types of videos. This channel is called Sam Animations, and his profile picture is the boyfriend from Friday Night Funkin' shitting his pants. Alright. Sam Animations has nearly 250,000 subscribers, and this video has a whopping 4 million views. We begin with Sonic, Amy, and their 2 children going on a picnic. But while baby Amy is playing in the field, she encounters a venomous snake who tries attacking her. Amy jumps in the way but gets bit in the process, immediately dying in front of her child. We then cut forward to Amy's funeral, and then another cut to Sonic drinking his woes away. In doing so, he becomes extremely aggressive towards his children, throwing an empty liquor bottle at baby Amy. So baby Amy goes to make some food but accidentally blows up their microwave. It happens. Sonic gets super angry and literally slaps his child across the face. This leads both children to run away and start living on the street begging for money. Luckily, Shadow walks by and throws them some money. What a swell guy. But then Eggman comes and steals it. What a f***ing asshole. He launches baby Amy into the stratosphere, and just as he's about to straight up punch a baby in the face, the ghost of Amy comes in to intervene. After beating the shit out of Eggman, she then takes her 2 kids back home. When arriving, Sonic sees the ghost of Amy and embraces her, somehow. Wait, I thought she was a ghost. How is that possible? And that's it. That's the video. What an amazing lesson to be learned here. Absolute 10 out of 10 video. Good job. So yeah, it's a lot to take in. These videos all have very strange lessons to learn, or sometimes no lessons to learn at all and just abruptly end. And there's just a ton of really adult topics on full display here. Death, mangled corpses, domestic abuse, alcoholism. It's almost subliminal how these videos are presenting all these horribly morbid topics copy-pasted across all these channels. What is their goal exactly? Are children actually just super interested in these morbid topics, which makes these videos super algorithm friendly? Or are these channels preying on children using familiar family-friendly characters to lure them in and get them to watch their deranged fantasies? Honestly, I have no idea, but either way, it's really messed up. I tried doing some research to see if there was like a specific fetish for this type of thing, but it was really hard to describe to Google, and I was getting some pretty raunchy results, so I decided it wasn't worth it. My FBI agent is probably very concerned. If anyone knows if whatever this is has a name or not, let me know in the comments below. But while investigating these channels, it all just reminded me of Elsagate. If you don't know what Elsagate is, it was basically a controversial period in time on YouTube during the early 2010s, where there was just a rampant amount of videos marketed towards children with completely inappropriate themes. They almost always involved family-friendly characters like Elsa or Spider-Man doing obscene things relating to graphic violence, sexual situations, fetishes, and mindless toilet humor. Very similar stuff to what we've been seeing on these Sonic Kids channels. So parents and other adults started to notice the terrible content in these videos that millions of children were watching, and it started raising a ton of eyebrows. It got so bad that YouTube had to step in and take action. So in 2017, YouTube reformed their guidelines, and these types of videos were classified as controversial, completely demonetizing them, which dissuaded people from making them in the first place. Not only this, but hundreds of thousands of these videos were wiped from their site, and hundreds of huge channels were outright banned. Now let me just ask you this. How are these Sonic Kids videos any different than the Elsagate videos? Because I really don't see a difference. They target the exact same demographic and subject them to disturbing and traumatizing content. These channels are masquerading as family-friendly when in reality, the only reason they're doing so is to lure in young and impressionable children for views while also traumatizing them. I said this towards the beginning of this video, but Sonic is only one of the many family-friendly characters being used in these types of videos. In fact, one of the more prominent channels I found making these types of videos has another channel that does the exact same type of content, but with characters from different series like Friday Night Funkin' or Poppy Playtime. So although I focused on the Sonic content since it's more relevant to my channel, there's so much more of this garbage out there that children are being exposed to. Now, it is absolutely worth noting that these videos are not labeled as being made for kids. You see, YouTube has a special label you can use to mark your video as being made for kids, which allows them to be watched in the specialized YouTube Kids app. This app was created to ensure that kids have a pool of content with a sort of confirmation that it is indeed made for kids. You're only able to watch content with this label, so any other content on YouTube without this label is completely unwatchable on this app. Now, that's fine and all, but the current method of having videos labeled as made for kids is extremely flawed. First, the uploader themselves decides during the uploading process if the video should be labeled as made for kids or not. And this should go without saying, but the uploaders aren't always going to be truthful with this, especially because there are actually many reasons you would not want your video to be labeled as such. First, when videos are marked as made for kids, it changes your ad type. By default, ads are personalized, but due to certain laws, YouTube isn't allowed to show personalized ads to children. So videos labeled as made for kids do not have personalized ads, which can essentially cut your revenue by up to 80%. Second, if your video is labeled as made for kids, comments become automatically disabled. This is a safety measure to ensure that children don't start engaging with strangers on the internet in the comment section. Makes sense. But this is actually really bad for the uploader because comments are a huge factor in overall engagement for a video, which is what the YouTube algorithm looks for when deciding if it wants to continue pushing a video out to a wider audience. Bigger push from the algorithm equals more views, which equals more ad revenue. So in general, as a creator, you don't want your videos labeled as being made for kids. There is one other way that videos can be labeled as made for kids, and that's if YouTube just decides that they are. YouTube can just do this without any warning while giving zero power to the creator to change it back. There are many instances of certain content creators being punished with this made for kids label for making videos with universal appeal but not necessarily specifically targeted towards kids. With comments disabled, their videos then begin to tank because their engagement was cut off completely outside of their control. Thanks, YouTube. So obviously these weird Sonic Kid videos aren't going to label themselves as being made for kids. That would just be shooting themselves in the foot. And these videos are also in a sort of gray area because even though they are specifically targeted towards kids, there's no way YouTube would ever label them as made for kids either due to the suggestive subjects in each video. They're having their cake and eating it too. But on top of it hurting their video engagement and ad revenue, they realize that kids just use the normal YouTube app instead of the YouTube Kids app, so it's not like they even need it. The made for kids label is flawed. What this has actually led to is people taking advantage of it by creating videos targeted towards kids while being able to put in raunchy content and getting the benefits as if they were not. And conversely, innocent content creators being punished with the made for kids label for making videos with universal appeal. YouTube is certainly a double-edged sword when it comes to children's content. On one hand, you can't deny the absolute effectiveness it has at distracting your kid and keeping them quiet. Is your kid screaming and throwing a fit in public? Give them the good old iPad with some random children's YouTube videos, that'll do the trick. But on the other hand, you have no idea what they're watching. At least with television, the shows are approved by networks and you can mostly know what to expect with them. But with YouTube, literally any schmuck out there can upload a video and it's really easy to sneak under YouTube's radar with inappropriate stuff. Unless the videos get mass reported, there's just too much content on the website for YouTube to be monitoring each and every second of the video. Admittedly, their algorithm has been getting a lot better at being able to detect this stuff automatically, but there are still some obvious holes in their system. Personally, I'd be kind of hesitant to let my child use YouTube. Now, I'm no parent, and it's probably way easier said than done. After all, the temptation of YouTube's effectiveness, getting your kid to be quiet instantly, is probably pretty dang strong. But it's most likely worth it to avoid whatever underlying psychological effect these videos are going to have on kids. Probably. With the immense success of the movie, Sonic has had this huge resurgence with new and young fans becoming interested in the character. But horrible people out there are taking advantage of this and using it as a way to subject these younger people to disturbing content. YouTube has a serious problem right now. They go and label Sonic mod videos as being made for kids, which automatically disables comments and hurts the content creators who did nothing wrong. But then they turn a blind eye to these channels that are making videos obviously for kids, but with really inappropriate themes. Something needs to be done about this, but that can only happen if people are aware of this issue. So please help make people aware of this terrible trend by telling people about it, sharing this video, and even mass reporting these types of videos to YouTube. Because these videos are no different than the Elsagate videos that YouTube was forced to take down, and children should not be watching them. Hey everyone, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, leave a fat like and subscribe for more content similar to this. I'd like to announce that I have officially gone full-time with YouTube. It's been something that's been in the works for a long time, but that day is finally here. So now more than ever, any support towards my channel is hugely appreciated. Just watching my videos, buying my merch, and especially becoming a channel member. Which, by the way, huge thank you to all of my channel members. You all are absolutely wonderful and are my #1 motivators. If you'd also like to become a channel member for only $2 along with getting some pretty awesome perks, press the join button beneath this video or the channel membership link in the description for more details. And you might also notice that the backdrop of my video is completely different. Basically, we moved. Let me know how you like the new place in the comments below. I'm still kind of decking it out, but I tried to make it as similar as possible to the last one. Anyways, with all that being said, I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Peace.